play, but he's not going to play shortstop. And, he might just DH. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but it's kind of interesting. So Derek Jeter, his last game in the Bronx last night. I mean, just what can you say? What can you say when you're talking about putting this guy in the conversation with the greatest Yankees of all time? Much respect to Derek Jeter. Here's a tweet from my man Scotty. Too early for crack use. Curtis Blow's about 80, ain't he? Yeah! Yes! Yes! Curtis Blow is about 80. A dude just called to here in the last segment if you're just joining the show. And I'm talking about the greatest rappers from the South all time. And this dude, Big Something, he called up here and talked about Curtis Blow. And clearly he's on crack. We're talking about Southern rappers and, somebody with much skills and a great skill set. And he called up here with a rapper with a jerry curl from the 80s, from Brooklyn or Queens or one of them boroughs. Don't call back here for him, man. Just don't call up here for a couple of days. 404-382-0338. This segment is brought to you by Univon. Great long distance. Not like you at your mama's house. Fantastic long distance. So go on the website, thedougstewartshow.com, click on their banner, and check out some great savings. All right? You can call the show at 404-382-0338. And also you can text the show at 770-847-0536. For people that don't know, you can listen to the show a variety of ways. You can go on Spreaker.com. Damn frog. You can go to Spreaker.com and also listen to the show there. Just go on Spreaker.com and listen by just searching The Doug Stewart Show. It'll pop right up. And the little picture of me, my promo picture is there. Easy, bam. You can also download that app to your phone. Yes, you can do that as well. So you don't have to even log on to the computer. Just download the Spreaker app. My app is coming. It should be here any day. And also you can go straight to thedougstewartshow.com and listen to the show live there as well. All right, 404-382-0338. Give us your favorite rappers from the South. Who could be in the conversation all time? Outkast performing live this weekend in ATL. Back home, man. I mean, they back home, back together again. And as always, I remember when they did that, what was it, The Love Below, and I think the other dude did Spreaker Box. Remember, that was kind of innovative in itself. When they came out with two different albums. They were like solo albums, but they packaged them together. So I remember when that happened, before that happened, or maybe it was during that happened, when that happened, that everybody was kind of, trying to figure out what's going on with these guys. Are they together? Are they broken up? Are they separated? What's the deal with Outkast? But nah, they kind of like Wu-Tang in that manner where, Wu-Tang always does their little private projects, okay? But then they all come back together. They all come back together and form one, like Voltron. Yes. And so I guess that's what Dre and Big Boy are doing now, coming back together and forming like Voltron. Last night on Monday Night Football, a dude named Larry Donald found the end zone not once, not twice, but 3 times. Yes. 6'6", 265 pounds, was hauling in passes from Eli Manning all night in a 45-14 victory over the Washington Redskins. The second-year tight end out of Grambling State caught twisting grabs of 5, 6, and 6 yards. He looked good. He looked damn good. And the story is that he went to Grambling as a quarterback and somehow ended up changing the receiver or tight end or something, got too big, couldn't get up from the kitchen table. And now he's a mammoth. He's huge. And he might be the next guy in the line. If you remember, Antonio Gates was kind of like the same story. Not a lot of fanfare. Not a lot of fanfare at all. Okay? And Antonio Gates is going to the Hall of Fame probably. Yes. And then Antonio Gates pretty much started that run. In my opinion, he started the run of these ultra dynamic tight ends that split out wide and not just line up right next to the tackle and can, cause matchup nightmares and all that type of stuff. And so you got Jimmy Graham, you got guys like that. You got the big, what's his name in New England, Gronkowski. You got dudes like that have come after Antonio Gates. And maybe this dude is that next dude. The Giants are now 2-2. They started out 0-2. So it took a minute for them to figure out the new coordinator, Ben McAdoo's West Coast playbook, but it looks like Eli is clicking on all cylinders. That's a problem. That's a problem if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan or a Washington Redskins fan. I think the Redskins are done. I mean, there's just too much going on. First year coach, starting quarterbacks done. So I think the Redskins are done for the year. You can stick a fork in the Redskins. If you're a Redskins fan, what are your thoughts about this season going forward? Do you think you guys can compete? Do you think that you're done? Do you just want to try to build up for a good draft pick? I mean, what's the state? If you're a Washington Redskins fan, what's your state of mind? Because they're horrible. And got to talk about your boy Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins made a damn lie out of a lot of people that wanted to give him a shot. Yes. Kirk Cousins looks like that he's the latest Rob Johnson or who else? Scott Mitchell? Or who else can I think of, quarterback that came in after, doing good a couple of games and everybody thought that he was going to be the next whatever. Yes, Kirk Cousins, you see why he's a backup quarterback. You see why he was drafted where he was drafted. And not that that's always the tell-all. Some guys end up being better than where they were drafted. Obviously, Tom Brady, to name a few. But Kirk Cousins last night, all the 420-something yards that he threw for last week, he just basically, if he could ball it up, he balled it up and, put it in the toilet and flushed it because he's done. Ryan Leaf, thank you, from Open Thinking Guide, dude from podcast from the Netherlands. That guy's still listening. Thanks for listening, Open Thinking dude podcast. He got a long-ass damn Twitter name. Roderick Pinson, speaking of Twitter, Ryan would have blasted his ass. The trigger has no heart. UGK and the Ghetto Boys. Yes, we're talking about the greatest Southern rappers of all times. And I guess when you say Southern, you're talking from deep South to Texas, all the way over to the East Coast South. Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, and all the states in between, Louisiana and Arkansas, I guess, and all of those states. That's what you're talking about. And yeah, UGK, one of my favorite of all time. One of my favorite rap tracks of all time is the track One Day You Here, the Next Day You Gone. I don't even know the name. I think they used a old school track. I can't remember. Al Green, I believe that's an Al Green track. And that's one of my favorite classic songs ever. And it's ironic that one of the members is gone now to glory. So, yeah, we're talking about the greatest hip-hop rappers of all time in the South. This list I'm looking at says Missy Elliott. Now, the thing about Missy is she's from Virginia, so I guess she's below the Mason-Dixon line, so they're including that. But for some reason in my mind, and you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show, some reason in my mind, I always count that far up. If you're above North Carolina, I kind of count you as East Coast, But yeah, I guess you're below the Mason-Dixon line. So yeah, Missy is included in this list. Missy is a great producer as well. Very talented. He. You remember that, Missy? She had to let that go real quick though. That got old real fast. Okay, but yeah, Missy definitely talented. The list I'm looking at, they have her as number 8 in the all-time greatest rap artists from the South. All right, 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. 404-382-0338, and this is the Doug Stewart Show coming to you live and in effect from the ATL. And if you're just joining us, the reason we're in the conversation about the greatest rappers from the South is because Outkast is performing live this weekend, and so we're kind of paying homage to those guys. A little bit later in today's show, make sure you stay tuned. We're going to talk to Griffey 2K, or is he calling himself 3K now? He might be calling himself 5K. It's hard to keep up with Griff and his Ks or whatever. But if you're from Atlanta, even nationally, Griff is known nationally. You probably heard of Griffey 2K, and he's one of those great comedians. Loves his Raiders from the Bay Area. Loves his Raiders. So I'm sure he's going to come on and talk about the Raiders and give us his thoughts on Al's team. All right, 404-382-0338. Here's a tweet from Scotty. He says, as a Redskins fan, as long as Daniel Snyder owns the team, he will be Jerry Jones 2.0. The Redskins will be disappointing each year, just like the Cowboys. Just like the Cowboys, I agree. Yes. And it seems like Daniel Snyder is one of those guys that tries to be hands-on with everything, with all the decisions, even though he's kind of, slid back a little bit from that over the last couple of years. But still, I think they're also probably cursed because this issue of the Native Americans has come up with the Redskins name. We talked to Mark Gray yesterday from 106.7, I believe, in D.C., big sports dude up there. And, he's, started like a campaign to call them the Burgundy and Gold. He doesn't even call them the Redskins anymore, unless he has to. And I agree with him 100%. And I've done shows on this. I did a YouTube show on the Doug Stewart Show on YouTube where I talked about, I think that if one Native American is offended by that name, damn it, change it. Why don't you want to change it? I don't get that at all. And we'll get into this conversation another day. But I think the Redskins I think they're done right now. I think they're in trouble. Obviously, no quarterback, new head coach in Jay Gruden, learning the ropes, even though he's been around football his entire life. They're struggling this year. Going to be a tough one in that NFC East. Okay, how about this on Derek Jeter? Derek Jeter, and we're giving you some facts on Derek Jeter that you may not have known. Derek Jeter's one of those guys, when he came out of high school, he was kind of like this urban legend. He was kind of like this guy where everybody knew his name, kind of like if you remember when Justice came out of high school, when Justice was drafted, David Justice was kind of like a folk hero, and that was kind of like the same thing with Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter only struck out once during his senior season of high school baseball. At Kalamazoo Central High School, Jeter starred on the diamond, and despite getting minimal pitches to hit, ended up batting .508 with 23 RBIs and 21 walks and 4 home runs. Yeah, it kind of makes sense because he's one of the greatest players in the history of the game. So no matter what level you're talking about, man, Derek Jeter has just produced at a crazy high level. All right, when we get back from the break, we'll grab more of your calls, still talking about Southern rappers, having some fun with that. And we got the latest on Ray Rice. And I'm just going to say this. Somebody lying. All right? Somebody is telling a bold-faced lie. We're going to get into it. I'm going to start calling some folks out around here for what it is. Somebody telling a damn lie. We'll get into it up next on The Doug Stewart Show. I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out, "I know you better not be talking long distance running up my bill with that little hussy girl." Well, get with the times with the long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60 plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedougstewartshow.com or the link on the DougStewartShow.com app. Try out Univon and call your peoples like you not at your mama house. All right, I know the deal. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it, and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one source, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on the link on the DougStewartShow.com or the app link for details. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running, but just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your folk. Once again, the number is 770 847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Yes!